We are not able to hear you, Vidyashri. Yeah, sure. Thank you, Vajra. Okay. So, Vidyashri, I'm not able to hear your voice. You can type or you can rejoin the class. Okay. Okay. So, what I understood was none of you understood the concept except one or two. So, let me explain you again the UiPath Studio. So, before we go into a deep into the UiPath Studio, I just wanted to give you the overview of just a second, RPA implementation journey. Okay. So, are you able to see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So, what is RPA implementation journey and how it will be in the RPA? You should know these basic concepts because whatever the projects you are going to develop in a UiPath Studio, so this was you should and must know all these things. Okay. So the first thing is prepare RPA. So what is prepare RPA? What do you mean by prepare RPA? So any project which comes to you after comes to you, then you will analyze it. I mean, you will prioritize and you have to plan it according to the project timeline. So it's a nothing but plan implementation. I mean, it's a plan. Sorry, it's a nothing but the projects needs to be planned by you. Okay. So the next one is solution design. The name itself, you have a solution. That means you will have all the solutions and all the steps of that project, uh, and the live scenarios which needs to be tested in the environment, and the situations which you will be faced while during the development, and according to that you will have everything which will be available in a solution design document. Okay, and the next one is build RPA. So build RPA, the process are automated, the workflow is tested and validated, and the UAT is prepared. So the people who doesn't have any idea about this UAT work, tested and validation, it's a nothing but whatever the projects you are going to develop, you are going to develop in a few phases. That means in a development environment, you will develop your code, and after that you will move to a testing phase, a UAT phase, and after that you will move to a production phase. So these are the steps you have to follow for each and every project. Okay, so after building RPA, then the next point is test RPA. So test RPA itself, you have an idea about you need to test the project, you need to test the code. So how you are doing? You are doing in the UAT phase. That means this UAT is performed, the workflow is debugged, and the process is signed off. That means you have to show your project to the clients that your process has been developed and your process is going well in a UAT phase. So that means you have to show your results to the client that you don't have any issues with the project. That after that project will get signed off. Okay. The next point is stabilize RPA. What is stabilize RPA? The go live is prepared, the process is moved to production, monitored, measured, and the lessons learned are documented. So, for example, after moving your project into the production, so anything you have to, after moving into the production, anyways, you will have a hypercare to that. So in hypercare, you will observe each and every steps, how the process is running in the production, and what are the scenarios or what are the challenges you are going to face in the production. All will be learned in this phase. Okay, and the next point is constant improvement. The process automation performance assessed, the benefits are tracked, and the changes managed. So after moving the product, after your project moves into the production, then you may have a change request and you may have a modifications. So after doing all those things, your performance should be assessed, and you whatever you are doing and what are the things you are going to have in the production that benefits will get tracked over here. So this is the main implementation journey of RPA. So I'm just asking quick question. till now, if you don't if anyone doesn't have any idea or don't understood also, please let me know. Ramana Venkata, you're asking something?
Yeah, ma, can you please tell the full form of UAT? What is the?
Yes, UAT is nothing but user acceptance testing. That means your project has to run in other missions as well. Now, did you got the point?
Yes, yes, ma.
Okay. So anyone has any question also, please let me know, because after this we are going very deep because you need to learn variables, arguments, everything. So in the initial only you have to get clear on these concepts. Okay, fine. So today in this class again we are going to discuss overview of the studio and what are the options we have, what are the panels we have. Everything will be discussed today again. And after that, you will have a quick explanation about the sequences and flowcharts. And after that, you will have a simple task. So according to the task and based on the task, I'm going to show you how you need to check the results. So all these basic things will be covered in this class today, but you have to be more interactive because I'm going to ask you the questions in between the classes. Okay. So now let's start the UiPath Studio. Just a minute. Okay. See, this is the plain UiPath Studio. It doesn't have any code and it doesn't have any activities which I have mentioned. So I'll just remove this one as well. So this is the blank studio. This studio is nothing but whatever the projects you are going to develop, design, your thoughts will be implemented here. To do such kind of things, all the options will be available in the studio. Okay. So for example, now in this studio, there are separate parts which will be useful to the projects. That means for the first up above of the studio, if you observe this called as a ribbon tab. Okay, in this ribbon tab, if you click
Yeah,
on
what is
yes,
the Umadhavi? Can you top of the?
this called as a ribbon tab. It means if you want to create a new sequences, if you want to create a flow charts, if you want to create any first step of your project, that can be done over here. Home Home will be to open your process or project. What kind of a project you are going to select, that options will be available in the home. Did you get this point?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Home is nothing but whatever the process you are going to develop. According to that, you can select the options. Mostly, we will use the process RE framework. I'm going to explain you about the process for today. Okay. So I just selected the process, and after selecting the process, it will shows me a pop-up box stating that the name of the project, what kind of a name you want to give. You have to give the name as per the project only, so that everyone can understand what kind of what project is this. Okay. And this location where this UiPath project is going to store, that will be available in the location. And the description, you can give a brief description about the project, that is your choice, but if you give the description, then that will be helpful in the future. Okay. So after I just selecting a day 2 here. I already created it, but anyways again I'm clicking on create. Till that time, anyone can ask the questions. Okay. Okay, so this is how the blank project looks like. Just click on the open main workflow. If you observe here, there was a plus symbol. Just forget about this for now. I will explain you this thing in the later. So let me explain you the options. Now you have a clear idea about the home. What is home? Now let's move to a design part. What is a design part? Design part is nothing but if you want to create a new sequences, flow chart, state mission, exception, global handler, workflow, then according to that you can select these options. Anyways, you all know what is the save. Okay. So export as template. Mostly we don't use this template, but we can export our project into a template. So the most important point is this debug file. Whatever the project you have developed, you have to test the project, you have to check the results. For that purpose, you will use this debug options, debug file option. Okay. If you select the drop down, you will have a different types of option to check your results. I mean to test the projects. Run file, debug, run. Okay. So what is run file, debug, run? I will explain you later because now if I explain you right now, you will get confused. Okay. So undo, redo, cut, copy, paste. Already you know. Let's forget that. Let's see now. Manage packages. Well, you may have a question mark. What is a manage packages? Manage packages is nothing but if, for example, if you are automating any Excel automations or if you are doing any email automations, that activities package for that particular activity packages will be available here. For example, if you're searching for any Excel activity in an activity panel, but you're not able to find it, that means it was not updated or not installed. You may think like that, and you need to update. If you just click on that, you will have an update option. You need to click on the update, and you need to click on save. Okay, so this is what manage packages. Not only Excel activities, but also you have a PDF automation activities. So several kind of activities. You according to the project you have. You think these activities must and should have in my UiPath Studio? Then at that point you can check that manage packages. Okay. Now I'm not touching all these points because for now it is not important. I mean, for this basic for today's class, I'm not going to confuse you to tell all this option. Okay, so UI Explorer, remove unused, analyze file. This all I can explain you later because the only main point is you need to create a new sequence and you need to test the bot and you need to test the project. So that 2 points today you will learn in this class because that was very important. Okay. Now you have an idea about home design. Now let's move to a debug. Debug. Debug means the name itself is saying that debug. You need to debug the code. You need to check the you need to check is there any bugs in your code or not. To resolve that issue, these debug options will have. And you may have a question stating that here also we have a debug file in design panel, and in the debug option also we have a different types of option. The most if you want to test in a step by step or you want to test in a deep way, then you can use a debug option. That here you have a several options to check your results, to check your project. So I mainly suggest you to go to a debug to check each and every results. Okay. So now let's see this step options in the debug pane. If you click on here, run file, debug, run. You may have I told you no in the design panel I didn't explain you about this. Now in the debug panel I'm going to explain you about this because these all options are very important to test the project. So run file. What is a run file? It runs entire file at the it runs only the particular file whatever project you have developed. Debug option. What is debug? What is the difference between a run file, debug, and run? Debug is nothing but it will show you a step-by-step results if you want to have a clear picture, if you want to have a clear result in the project, then you better need to select the debug. Once you are confident enough to that your project was done successfully, then you need to check the run. You need to check with the run and run file options. Okay, so till you get familiar with the concepts, till you get familiar with the activities, then better you need to check with the only debug options. Okay. Till now, is anybody has having any questions?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Thank you. Now let's move to a few steps more. If you observe here, there was a stop option. You can stop if you feel that code is getting something wrong. Code is doesn't having any correct information and it's not giving you the correct value. Then at that time you can stop the bot. Okay. Not only at that time, whenever you feel that you have to stop the bot, then you can do this stop from the studio, not from the orchestrator. I'm not telling about the orchestrator and everything, assistant. I'm just telling you about the studio only. Okay, the next is step into. Step into. What is step into? Step into is nothing but it's a step-by-step process to check the results of each and every activity. Okay. Step over. Step over is also like it will move over the container. It doesn't execute inside the containers. I will show you the after doing a practical session, I will show you these steps so that you will have an idea. Okay. Step out is it will get out of that step, but it will get executed, but it doesn't move into each and every part. Okay. So retry where we use retry. For example, you are running the code and the code is based on some Excel. So you forget to close the Excel, but the code has stopped in between stating that this Excel file has opened. It was used by another user. But at that point, you can use this retry. So you can close the Excel, and if you click on the retry, then it will retry that activity and it will execute and give you the results. Ignore. Ignore is nothing but the name itself is telling you if there was an unexpected exception in between the code. You think that the code can run after that exception also, then you can just click on the ignore, then it will move to a next step. Restart is nothing but it will restart the execution. Why I'm stretching more on the debug option means you have to work on these debug options only, because to learn this UiPath Studio mostly based on these debugs options only. Okay. So breakpoints is very important. Breakpoints, like you think that your code has to stop some particular point. You have so that at that point you can click on the breakpoint. Then I will show you the sequence here. What I will do is I will write simple code. Yesterday I have written some hello world program, right? Message box. Hello world. Okay. I'm just writing log message to let us know that execution has completed. Okay. Okay, now you have a simple sequence. Just the thing is you are giving some text, you are giving some message, and you are telling that execution is completed. That's it. You are not doing any logical methods over here. You are not having any complicated logics or anything. The simple thing is you are giving some message here to somebody, and you are telling that the execution is completed. Okay. So I'm not doing anything apart from this. I just wanted to show you this how these debug options will work. Okay. So if I'm clicking on the debug, it will show you the results in the left side in the output panel. Okay. If you observe here, it has shown you the output here. If you click on the run, what happens? It will directly show you the results, not the execution part. Okay. So that's the reason I am just telling you to check only with the debug options only, because you will get familiar with this. Okay. Now, if you, I just told you about the stop. If you click on the step into, what this action will do, see, click on the step into. See, it has stopped here. Until or unless if I click on the step into, it won't move again. Don't move forward. Okay. So this is the best step where you can check the results if you are having any exception with the code or not. Okay. The next one is step over. If you observe, it did not highlighted anything. It just show me the message. It did not move to the next part. It just show me the main container. Okay. In the same way, step out also, it doesn't execute the inside the containers. It will move to the main directly. So this is how you will need to have the idea of step into, step over, and step out. Okay. Now I didn't. I'm explaining about the breakpoints, right? So let me have this breakpoint here. Okay. I'm just debugging the code. See, it has stopped here because I just paused the project over. I mean code here. So I just given an instruction to this code to stop here. That's why breakpoint is used like that. Okay. If I can click on continue only, then only it will get more. Hello. Click on OK. See. So this is how this step into, step over, and step out will work, and the breakpoint will work. So yesterday I have told you this execution trial and highlight elements because if you are observing on the screen, you will have a green color marks, right? Because of this, you have to know, you have to enable this execution trial, because you will get to know whether this particular activity is executing or not. If it is not executing, then it will having the some other icon, say clock icon. That's why I told you to enable this one. And the highlight elements, I told you if there was any UI element interactions. UI element interaction is nothing but the which we are training in the production to the application. I mean, for the any web application, you want to check with the activities. For example, yesterday I have shown you some typing to activity. Before typing into the content, before typing into the text into that, it's highlighting that value. Process is highlighting that value. So for that reason, I told you to highlight this element. Okay. Okay. So this is the main points you have to remember while developing your code. And the next thing is activity panel, the most important panel in the left side. If you observe here, the activity panel. So whatever the whatever the content or whatever the design you want to develop to your project, that means you need to just search here. If you want to automate any email automation, you need to click on email. You have a different types of email activities here, but the only thing is you have to learn each and every activity. Which activity used to send emails, which activity is used to get the emails, which activity is used to read the emails. So you have to learn all this concept. You have to understand each and every activity. But I'm not telling you to learn each and because there are more activities which you are not able to learn in a overnight or in a month. But you will get a familiar with this while doing your projects, while doing your tasks. So that's why I told you to do the task on a daily basis. Okay. So not only this email activities, you will have the Excel automation, Excel activities also. If you observe in the left hand side, you will have a different types of activities. Some Excel activities we have, workbook activities we have. So the only thing is you should have an idea which activity you have to select. You should not select the wrong activity, because it may lead to a wrong execution. Okay. So if you can see here, message box we have, sequence we have. Message box is nothing but to give a message. Sequence is nothing but to build your simple code in a sequence. Assign activity, I will tell you later, because that won't understand for now. I will tell you in the next classes. Okay. Write cell activity. Write cell activity is nothing but write cell. Cell where we are using this cell. We are using this cell in a Excel. So write cell is, you have to interlink these activities to your process, so that you will understand this. See, for example, right range activity. Right range activity where you are using this range, where have to use. You have to use in Excel. And right line activity, it is writing something. What is, why it is writing something, you have to think about that. Right line activity is nothing but it's writing something. So it's writing where it was writing, it will write in the output panel. Such a, you have to remember the activities. I'm not saying you to remember all the activities, I'm just saying you to have a basic idea of the activities. Okay. And the next one is build a data table. What you're doing with the data table? You're just building the data table. And add data row, you're just adding the rows. So output data table, you're just giving some output from the data table. So all these activities you will understand while reading the names itself. So you think that I have to do some Excel, sorry, I have to read some data from the web application, so how I should do? You have to think of the about that. First thing, you have how the humans will do when while writing, while fetching some data into the website. What we will do, we will open some URL and we will check whether where that data is available, and we will read that data. In the same way, we have to train a bot. We have to tell the bot, just open the URL. To open the URL, we are telling that you need, bot has to use some activity. Okay. And after opening that, bot has to confirm that yes, it was the website where we are looking. So you have to think in such a way to build your code. Okay. Till now, if you have any questions, please let me know. Guys, please speak. If it's a yes or no.
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 Okay, thank you. Now you have this. Now you have an idea about this ribbon panel and this activities panel. Okay. Now, some of you asked me the question about the properties, and we are not able to understand the properties, and we are not able to understand what is the changes we have to do for any particular activity. See, the most important thing is, for that activity also, we are just telling that activity to perform some actions. So for example, the message box available here. Simply we can keep the message box without not only message box, any other activity. Um, for example, I can explain you like this. We are telling some human to go someplace, but we are not telling them to do some actions over that place. What they will do? They'll just go and simply stand there. But this activity is also something like that only. If we are just putting the activities and we are not instructing to that activity to perform some actions, then what that activity will do? To give some instructions, to give some input actions. That's why the property panel is available. If you observe for the message box, for the properties panel, you have a different types of options. I know this is the first time you may get confused, but just understand the concept. You will get understand while doing the task. So that's why I'm just telling you in a brief, in a deep. Okay. See, if you see here, if you read the names only, automatically close after. So you are just the here you have already a predefined format. That means that while seeing that only you may understand, you get to know that we have to give some time over there. The name itself automatically close after. That means we are just telling that activity to close after some time. Okay. Do you think it is taking some um, longer to load or faster to load? Anything which is related to that project, you have to give some time based on that. Okay. So next is buttons. Button. By seeing this name, you may not understand, you may not have an idea what is this button called. Just go there, go and check. Just over on this space or column, then you will have the concept, we will have the definition which specifies which button to be displayed in the message box. That means it is telling you that in the message box, if it is displaced, then what kind of a option you have to select, what kind of a option we have to show you. So for that purpose, it's, you just click on the drop down, you'll have a different types of option. Just try everything. Don't, oh, if I click on this what will happen, don't think like that. Just try everything. Just click on okay, click on okay, cancel, just yes and yes no, cancel, yes no, everything. Just try with one activity only. Don't go all other activities. Just take your own activities, take your own only one activity and try with the different properties. Okay. So caption means, if you over on this, the title of the message box dialog, they see there, they are clearly explaining you have to give some title to that box. Okay. Text, anyways, we have given some text called hello world, so the same text will be displays here. Okay. Private is nothing but you no need to know about, I mean, you no need to check on this option for now. I can explain you this later. Okay. Topmost. So topmost is nothing but where this activity you wants to be present in your process. So if you click on this topmost, then it will move to a topmost position. Okay. Sorry. Chosen button. See what is chosen button? A string representing the pressed button in the message box dialog. It can be okay, yes, no, or cancel. So whatever you choose the button according to the message box, that will be displayed over there. So this is the properties of the simple activity message box. Till now, anybody has any questions?
No.
Okay. Now, let's move to some next step. What I will do is, can someone share your screen and show me the task which you have done yesterday? The people who are completed.
Can I show?
Yeah, please. Yes, please.
Is it visible?
It's loading. Yeah, it's visible.
Yeah. So yesterday you have given the task that we have to type into and to get the test, that uppercase test in the output panel.
Yes.
So for that I have taken the guest test activity, and to display that output in to display that in output I have taken the right line activity.
Okay. Okay. Well done. Okay. So whatever you have did is correct. Just debug the code once.
So in the output it has shown as Mastasi in the uppercase.
Okay, fine. Good. So this is the case which this is a task which I have given you yesterday, all of you, but no issues. Whatever you are trying to do is good. Shashi, please share your screen. I want to explain you few things on that.
Okay.
Okay. Close this output. Yeah. So all of you, just give me. I think I cannot get the access. Okay. Just go up.
Okay.
Go to the main. I mean, go
Yeah.
up. Just go, drag to the.
Yeah, I'm not getting your name.
No, don't give me access. I may not get the access because I have used in a room. So
Okay.
go up.
Shall I open output panel?
No, don't open. Just go up.
Okay.
Go to the web. Use web browser. Yeah, okay. So now, uh, Ramana, did you got the concept? How this studio is working till now?
Yes, yes, Uma.
Chaitra, the people who told me that they doesn't have any idea about this, I'm just asking. Madhu,
Yeah, I got it. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Why I'm fetching the names means you have just the thing is that you need to understand the tool first. Then only you can develop. You can have the project understandable. Okay. So now why Ceci just click on the debug option now. No, no, not that one. After design panel, you have the debug option. Okay. So, and one more thing, I'm going to explain you about I have explained you overview of the studio now. I just wanted to explain you about this output panel, control panel, because I wanted to tell you that you can check the results in these panels as well. So that is the reason I am explaining you now. Okay. Ceci, go just click on a step into. Don't do anything. Just click on a step into. Okay. Again, click on a step into. Okay. Now stop it. Okay. So if you observe in the left hand side, you will have a locals panel. Did you check all of you? Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah. There was a
Yes.
local panel where it was showing you the value. That means whatever you're going to give you a variable call, anything. That means it will show you some results to that particular variable or an argument or to that browser, anything. Okay. So same way, just click on a watch panel. See. Do one thing, just click on step into again. I think it has stopped. You need to click on a step into again. Yes. Okay, let it be. Don't click anything. So if you observe in the locals panel, if you observe in the text, properties of type into, what kind of a text it is getting, you can see the sessi over there. You can see the value over there. So by this, you can check the results of that particular activity or particular variable or particular argument. Navi, do you have anything?
Sorry.
Okay, fine. So the main concept of this locals is you can check the results. That's what I wanted to try to tell you all. So if you click on a watch panel, if you click on an immediate panel, it will show you the result. But the thing is, what results you want to display, you can configure or you can give that particular value type over there. So for this, for example, just click on a watch panel, Ceci, down. After locals, you have a watch. Yes. Now click on step into. Let me tell you. Okay. Again, click on step into. Okay. Now stop. Okay. If you observe there, you have an add option. See, just click on that add option. Okay. You have given some get text value, right? Just write that value, type there, get text. No, don't give that. Get text. Yes. You have created some variable now. Just double click on. See, if you observe that, she just given a variable and she doesn't give any value. If you wants to check any kind of a result, then you can see in a watch panel. In the same way, immediate panel is also do. But the thing is, what you have to understand here is before you click on a step into, before you move to the next step, it won't give you the next result. For suppose I mean your process is there at type into only, and you want to check the get text result, but it won't allow you to give the result. It will show you the null option because it is not executed. So this is how locals and watch panel will work. If you click on the immediate, just click on that immediate panel, Sissy.
Actually, I have not understand the watch panel, Uma.
Okay. Watch panel is nothing but you can check the result of your variable.
Okay.
Okay. See, if you let's see, Sissy, until or unless if you complete the code, then only you will have a output results, right?
Yes.
But you have to check the results before it is executed and before it completes the execution. You have to know that whether this variable is getting the correct value or not.
Okay.
At that point, at that moment, you will use this watch panel and immediate panel to check the instant results. Yes.
I type.
Click on the activity. Just click on the activity and enable the breakpoint there. No, don't give. Yeah. No, until unless we have to give the variable, it won't give you the results.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, it has shown the value now. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, overview of the studio was completed. Actually, I wanted to tell you all is before you create the task, before you start the task, I wanted to give you a one brief description about variables, so that you can have an idea while doing your task. So, what is variable and why we use variable? The most important part of this complete projects was variables and arguments. Without this, most of the code won't work. So that's the reason I wanted to give you only variable concepts for now. And I wanted to give you one simple task to perform by creating variables only. Okay. So, okay, you can close the screen sharing, Ceci. Everyone can able to see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So, right till now we understood the main overview of the studio, and the next part is whatever you are going to create your task, it is going to be based on your variables. So arguments also I'm not going to cover today, only the variables I'm just going to cover you. So what are variables, why we use variables, and how where we need to create these variables. I'm repeating again, what are variables, why we use variables, how we are going to create the variables. You have to remember these 3 points because in the interviews also you are going to ask these questions. Okay. So let me give you a definition of the variable. Variables are the containers which can hold multiple data entries at the same data type. I'm repeating again, variables are the containers which can hold multiple data entries of the same data type. Okay, so for example, if you have a multiple email IDs, you cannot pass, for example, if you have a 3 or 4 email IDs, you cannot go each and every email ID, you cannot create each and every activity to all those email IDs. What you will do at that situations? You will create one variable. You will create one variable called email, which is related to that particular function, particular process. You will create one variable and you will add all those email IDs to that one variable. Okay. And it will execute one at a time at the time of execution. Did you understood what is a variable? Variable is nothing but
Yes,
variable.
Uma.
Yeah, variables is nothing but which can hold some multiple data entries of the same data types. Okay. So, and what these variables will do? What is the use of these variables? Variables helps to pass the data from one activity to another activity. Okay. So for example, if you are creating one variable in the upper of the process, then you have to use that, you can use that variable in over the flow, over the process, over the sequence, wherever you want, you can just pass the variable, not the entire list. Okay. So
Can
let
you repeat that once again, Uma? Variable helps, like variable helps the to
variable
pass.
helps to pass the data. Let me show you the practical way. Just a minute. For example, you can create a variable by clicking on the variable panels also. By example, I wanted to create a call names. Okay. And I wanted to give my name and another name. Okay. So here you have a two names. What I'm going to do, I am not going to give you the names Uma here, Devi here, and nothing. I'm not going to give that. I'm just going to give only the variable here. What is that name? Okay. That means instead of giving each and every name, I'm just passing the variable here. Not only here, I want to pass another and for another activity also. For another activity called write line. Okay. So for the write line also, I want to pass the same variable. It's called names. Simple. So I don't have any, I mean, I'm not bothering about the names on the list of the names. I just given all the names to one variable and I'm passing that variable into the entire flow to give the results. Did you get my point?
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Okay. So now if you check on the variables panel, you have a different types of options here. Okay. So different types of options means names, name of the variable. Name itself is telling you the name of the variable and the variable type. What kind of a variable you have? Okay, if it is a integer, it will you have to select the integer. If it is a array, so you have to select the arrays of string. So based on your variable, you have to select the variable type. For some variables, it will get automatically creates, and for some variables, it won't. All of you have an idea about data types? I think you have the idea about data types. Okay. So if you don't have an idea also, please check in the website. What are the data types? How many types are there? What are their functionalities? You can check in the website and you can come back on Monday. Okay. So without knowing data types, you won't able to understand what kind of a type it was, what kind of a variable it was. Okay. And the scope. Scope is nothing but since it was created in the sequence, that's why it is showing as a sequence. I am just creating another sequence. I am just giving another body, another variable. Then we have to enable this option until or unless if you don't give the permission to that variable, it won't pass to the another sequences. Understood? Okay. Now, what is the default value? Default value is the initial value of the variable. If no value is assigned while creating a variable, then it will consider default value for the execution. Okay. So if you want to modify or if you want to add something to that variable, then you can add in the default section. So later you will able to understand all these variables concepts. Now I have explained you what is variable, why we use variables. And the third question is how many types this variable can be created. Okay. Third question is how many types this variable can be created. There are three ways where three ways of creating variables are available. Number one, in the variable panel, I just shown you how to create the variable in the variable panel. Number two, from the activity panel. Sorry, from the activity. For example, I'm just removing this. I'm just pressing Control K. I'm just pressing Control K to create the variable. I'm just creating the variable called class. Control K. Next. If you observe, if the variable has created, you can check whether this variable is created or not in the variables panel. Okay. And the number three, in the activity properties panel, you can create. If you observe here, I'm just removing this. I'm just pressing Control K and I'm adding name. Names I have added. I'm just now adding name. The variable has been created here. So if you observe here, the variable type is selected as wrong. Text is a string. So you need to select it as a string. Name is a string. You have to select the name as a string. If you are giving numbers, then you have to select it as integers. This is how the variables will work in the studio, in the project. Anybody have any questions? Please let me know because I am going to give you the task now. Guys, please speak out.
No doubt.
No doubt. Okay. So you are good to go then. Okay. So the people who does not created a created a task which I have told you yesterday, please do that task. And the people who does that task, I am just telling you that whatever the results you are getting from the website, you just need to write one cell in the Excel, not complete work. I mean, only I know you are taking only one name, only one value, only one item. That item you have to be write in a Excel.
Can
Everyone,
you repeat once?
yes. Whatever you have used the get text, right?
Yes.
And you got some results.
Okay.
And that result you have to write in a Excel.
Okay.
Only one result. You don't do any modification. Just write a simple. I mean, just add some Excel activity. Just I don't want to give you a description on that because you have to learn on the Excel part also. So just search for the Excel activities. So if you have any queries and doubts, I can explain you on Monday. The people who does not created any task, please do the task which I have mentioned yesterday. The task is all about you need to take one website, you need to enter some data into that, and whatever the results you are getting from the website, you need to show me into the output. Ramana, Chaitra, Madhu,
Yes, Uma. Yeah.
sorry, Vidyashri. Okay,
Yes.
so this is the for today's class. I just covered you only for overview variables and what are the options you have in UiPath Studio while debugging the code. So these all are the options. Yeah, tell me if you have any questions. Please let me know. Yes, Vidyashri, you are talking something. Hmm.
Sorry.
Yeah, actually, my chat is disabled. That's why I raised the hand as everything is fine. But actually, my doubt is was I am unable to join through. Okay.
Uma,
Yes.
I'm not able to execute the program. Today I've installed the studio
Okay.
and some error it is showing.
Can you share the screen?
Yeah, I will. See, like this it is showing actually when I run the program.
Vajran, will you help this one?
Yeah. Okay. Okay, Vajra.
Okay.